Hi, I'm Mark Bailey. Welcome back to the Meteors Club channel. Now, Liza Rees is a part-time firefighter, magician, and mind reader. In other words, she's an executive assistant. As board PA and office manager for big bus tours, Liza has 7 years experience in keeping executives and directors organised, prioritised, and less stressed. Her steely determination has seen her rise through the ranks, and she's often called upon to make the impossible possible, none more so than when she's organising an event. Indeed, her event management skills have become so proficient that she recently won the coveted Miss Jones PA Event Planner of the Year award. No mean feat when you consider that Liza was up against a number of full-time event professionals. I caught up with Liza during one of her full-on days to find out what makes a top event planner, and started by asking what she thought the hardest thing about organising an event was.
So personally for myself, the hardest thing for organising an event would be just finding the time, as it isn't my full-time job, to actually organise events. And also getting the right information out of my executives as to what we actually need to do to organise that event. So in terms of attendees and budgets and dates, they are some of the key things that I need to get in order to actually be able to start researching.
And is it hard to try and get information from your executives? I bet they're always very, very busy.
They are extremely busy, and they tend to have a discussion with each other, and things can change in the drop of a pin. So it's just more so that I end up putting stuff in their diaries. So I'll be like, we are spending half an hour and we are going to make a decision today. Because the closer it gets to the date, obviously, it's harder for me to actually find the right venue for them. And a lot of the top venues get booked up straight away.
And what type of events do you typically organise for big bus tours?
So typically it will be a lot of management offsites, senior leadership meetings, and our socials, events such as like Christmas parties. So it really can vary. And so it can vary from, say, an event for 4 people right up to around 100 people.
And are the larger events harder to organise, or are the small ones just as bad?
I think it really depends who it's for. Sometimes the smaller ones can be quite difficult. Trying to find meeting spaces that are a reasonable size for a smaller group, that has windows in central London, has a good size boardroom table, great AV equipment, is actually very difficult. The larger events, again, I guess because you don't have everyone's say in it, that you're only relying on maybe 1 or 2 individuals to make the decision, can actually be easier to arrange.
So when you're planning an event, what are the key things do you think that people should always remember?
So I think the key things to remember when planning an event is know your audience. So depending on who it is that you are arranging that event for. So an executive might have, one of our executives may have a different taste to what another one may have. Knowing what the purpose of that meeting is, or like that event, and what they actually want to get out of it. Because you want to make sure that it is a valuable experience for everyone. One of the main key things is obviously knowing the budget, because there's so much you can do, but the sky's the limit. And if you don't know your budget, you can just really overshoot it. And the location, because again, central London, there's so much choice. Surrounding areas, again, so much choice. So yeah, they are the key things for me. I think initially on the search, but then there are a number of key things obviously throughout the planning process as well.
But you don't have to spend thousands and thousands of pounds on a big budget to have a successful event, I guess.
No, you don't at all. So it's all about making it go as far as you need. So again, knowing the purpose and what you actually want to get out of that event is really key. I think that, yeah, so if you've got a budget in mind and you know the style of the venue you want, sometimes you can negotiate as well with venues. And if they don't necessarily, if they are too high end, then you can always look around, like, and they may have recommendations as well for other venues in the area that might be able to assist you with the budget that you more have in mind. And it is, you might have to do a couple of DIY things as opposed to getting the professionals in to do everything. But if you've got a great team of people around you, it sometimes makes it even more memorable. When I've been up till 3 a.m. doing place cards for things before, and it's just little things like that where it's like added on expenses that you don't necessarily need to spend.
It's very, very important, therefore, to develop really good relationships with venues and event suppliers that you work with to ensure that the guests and the delegates have a really positive experience.
Yeah, no, that is key, I think. With the venues that I've organised in the past, I usually get a great relationship with the events managers that you do all the booking through, and the sales managers, the operations team that will be helping you out on the day-to-day management of the event. They're the make or break, really, if you're going to have a successful event, because if something goes wrong at the last minute, you need to be able to rely on them to help you resolve that. And then also just having that great relationship with people at the venues, then if in the future, again, you are looking to do another offsite, you may use something within their portfolio, and then you've already got the contact there, or you may, as well with suppliers, it's just so much valuable information you can get from people. And the key thing is you want to treat people as you want to be treated as well.
Now with all live events, things can occasionally go wrong. How do you personally deal with it when things do go a bit wibbly wobbly?
I think the main thing is to remain calm. Even if completely underneath you are flapping and you are having a full-on meltdown inside, never show it on the outside, because our executives, my executives rely on me to be able to stay calm and be able to think on my feet as to, we can think of a solution. We're only human. Things can go wrong. An example for myself is one of our offsites. They had a function in one of the meeting spaces the day before, that evening. And so when they reset everything up the next morning for us, what we didn't realise is that the bulb had blown in the projector, and we had an external coming in that morning to do a 1-hour presentation who had to leave after that hour, and it would have just looked awful if we hadn't been able to resolve the situation. So I was straight on a WhatsApp group with the operations team that we had in place, and we managed to set up, they had like a portable projector that we had set up on another table, and we were just racing around getting it all sorted. But without having obviously a great relationship with the operations team, we wouldn't have been able to do that. And without remaining calm and just getting into an absolute hysteric, I wouldn't have just got on the phone and just sorted it out straight away. So we managed to avert disaster, which is good.
So you always have a plan B, which is helpful. So tell me, you're into all sorts of different technology developments in the world of events. How do you manage to keep up with it all?
It can be quite difficult. I think the main thing is just attend as many shows that you can. So with like the meeting shows, venues and events live. Even I'm part of Miss Jones' PAs, so I attend a number of their events, so you get to go see different meeting spaces and hotels. There's newsletters, so it's all about word of mouth, and also going to just visit shows and actual venues to be able to stay on top, because there's something new coming out every week.
Now, Meetings Club, as you know, is all about reviews. Why do you think it's important for EAs, PAs and event bookers to leave a review after they've held an event?
So I think it's really important because I just think recommendations are invaluable from other PAs and EAs. I think it's easy enough to go onto a venue's website and they're obviously going to sell you the world and tell you that they are the best place, that you should hold your event there. But unless you've actually got that information from someone, and I would say other PAs and EAs are reliable sources, and they've taken the time out of their busy day to leave that review, then it really shows that there must be something special about that venue.
Now, you're such a busy person, and thanks again so much for your time. Can I ask what sort of events you've got coming up for the remainder of 2020?
Yeah, so we've got a few of our usual meetings coming up, so a few of the senior leadership meetings. We've got a few things in the pipeline that I'm not allowed to speak about right now, so it's quite exciting time for us. But yeah, so watch this space for 2020.
We certainly will. Thanks very, very much indeed for joining me on the Meetings Club channel, Liza.
Okay, thank you for your time.
And if you'd like to find out more about Liza's work at Big Bus Tours, don't forget to check out the site bigbustours.com. That's bigbustours.com. Thanks for watching the Meetings Club channel.